Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a bit of a gloomy and rainy day here in mid-July. We've got a bit of a summer storm passing over here in South Yorkshire, England. But I thought I would take the time to showcase my Gunnera because this is the type of weather they love. They love being in a wet, kind of boggy kind of condition with nice nutritious soil. So here he is enjoying the rain, and he's in a tub of water anyway to keep him wet. And this plant has absolutely exploded over the last couple of months. I bought this Gunnera towards the very end of April, and he was in a small little pot about the size of this, where I have my endangered Jubea chilensis palm. He then got potted up into quite a much larger pot. In fact, the pot was the exact same size as this one here, where the Tetrapanax is. So he had probably 3 times as much soil, if not more, and in that time he grew into the size you've seen now, and he completely filled that pot with roots. He's been sat in a bucket of water with nice fertile soil, and he's clearly done impressively well. So yesterday, excuse me, I potted him up into a much larger pot, and I actually use a lot of homegrown compost from the compost bin just by the tropical bed over there. So he's going to absolutely fly for the rest of the summer, I'm pretty sure. Just to give you a reference on how big this thing is, there he is next to a fairly large male grown hand, and you can see those leaves are just getting bigger and bigger. Absolutely gorgeous plants. As you'll see later on in the video, where I stitch in some old footage from early May, the bud was previously a small green dot poking out of the soil. He has now got this huge, big, red, alien egg looking bud which has just come out of nowhere. He has probably grown, in terms of the bud, 8 to 10 times its size in just over 2 months. It really is incredible. Furthermore, obviously we've got the main bud where the leaf is coming out here, but we have a secondary down here, a tertiary down there, and bud number 4 just down there. So he's starting to form a clump instead of just one small crown. This is what really helps beef Gunneras out and make them into a huge kind of stand of leaves, because right now, even though he's got some really nice healthy strong leaves on him, he's quite sparse. And that's because the leaves are so big they don't grow all that many per bud, especially in just 2 months. So as he continues to develop and grow from the main bud, but also push out leaves from the smaller buds, excuse me, he will start to look a lot more fuller. And I reckon by the time winter rolls around and I have to cut the leaves off and protect him for the frosts, probably around November time, I reckon he'll probably be doubled in size again. And I'm really excited to see how big I can get this plant to grow in the growing season this year. Later on, when you see the previous footage, you will notice that the Gunnera was next to this palm tree here in that green pot, and as you can see, the size difference between the pot it used to be in, well, similar, the same size anyway, and that pot, it's quite a large difference in soil. And obviously he had much smaller leaves back then as well, so when you take into account how small he looked next to that green pot to now being in the exact same pot now, and how big he looks, you will really get an idea of how much this plant has actually grown while I've been taking care of it from late April to mid-July. Here's the newest leaf, absolutely gorgeous vibrant colours. We've got really striking red veins in the leaf, and the leaf has become so much more textured as well, to the point where I have no idea what species this is, because when I first bought him, this is how he looked. Nice smooth green leaves with green veins in it. Now he's got these big, aggressive and detailed leaves, all ribbed and textured with deep red veins on him. So I have no idea whether it's a Gunnera Manicata, a Gunnera Tinctoria, or the hybrid, which is known as Cryptica. I think it's likely it may be a hybrid or Tinctoria, but I just can't tell you. Perhaps it will flower next year, and then I'll be able to definitively kind of identify what species this is. But for now, I'm just letting it be known as my Gunnera. When I find out the species, I will obviously be able to label it as such on my videos. But here he is, just his mid-summer update on the plants. Absolutely huge. Just to put into perspective how big he is, here's my size 11 UK foot just next to him, dwarfed by the plants. UK 11, US 12, and I'm going to do another update later in the season, either October, November, just to show you exactly how big this thing has gotten before I chop the leaves off and protect him for the winter. So yeah, if you haven't already, please do like, comment and subscribe to make sure that you stay up to date with this and all my other plants. And you can see the 3 new plants are all in their place as well. Gunnera Manicata, we've covered over those exposed roots from when we watered him. Same with the 2 Tetrapanax.